I buried my parents alive in the crawlspace under our old family home in suburban Chicago, listening to their muffled screams fade into whimpers as the concrete hardened around them. It wasn't rage that drove the shovel into the earth that night. It was justice. Cold and calculated. The kind that simmers for years until it boils over into something irreversible. And as I smoothed the fresh patch of floor with Grandpa's old trowel, I whispered the truth they'd hidden for a decade. Every penny meant for my dreams was now funding theirs. And payback, in America, is a bitch with a long memory. The rain hammered the roof like God's own indictment as I sat in the dim glow of my laptop, the screen casting blue shadows across the eviction notice from Northwestern University. It was acceptance season for kids like me, 18, straight-A valedictorian from Lincoln Park High, the golden boy with a full-ride scholarship that still left gaps wider than Lake Michigan. Mom and Dad had sat me down 2 weeks earlier in our cramped kitchen, the one with the Formica counters chipped from years of Dad's accidental rage fits. "Son," Dad said, his voice gravelly from too many Marlboros and not enough apologies. "College is a scam. Real men build with their hands, not bury their noses in books." Mom nodded, her Botox smile not quite reaching her eyes, the ones that darted to the stack of bills we'd ignored for months. They weren't wrong about the scam part. Student debt was a noose around every millennial's neck, but they knew damn well Grandpa's trust was supposed to bridge that gap. A cool $500,000, socked away in a safe deposit box since I was in diapers, earmarked for the kids' education.
Poof. Gone.
And they were the magicians. I didn't suspect at first. Hell, I trusted them. That's the American dream, right? Pull yourself up by your bootstraps, but lean on family when the laces snap. Grandpa Jack had been the Rock, World War II vet, Union steelworker who clawed his way from the mills to a modest nest egg after Grandma died of cancer in '98. He doted on me, the only grandkid, slipping me 20s for comic books and promising, on his deathbed in 2014, "This'll get you through the gates,
kid. Don't you let things tchau each."
Cancer took him quick. Pancreatic. The kind that leaves you hollowed out like a spent shell casing. The funeral was a blur of casseroles and condolences. Mom sobbing into Dad's shoulder while I stared at the flag-draped coffin, wondering how a man who fixed everything with duct tape couldn't fix himself. The betrayal hit like a sucker punch during spring break of my senior year. I'd driven home from a campus tour in Evanston, buzzing on cheap gas station coffee and visions of lecture halls and late-night study sessions. Mom was in the garage, rifling through Grandpa's old toolbox, the one with the hidden false bottom. She froze when I walked in, a wad of hundreds spilling from her fist like confetti from a busted piñata. "Just organizing," she stammered, shoving it back. But I saw the guilt, the flicker in her eyes like a bad actor in a Lifetime movie. That night, I waited until they were asleep, Dad's snores rattling the vents, and pried open the box. Empty. Not a single IOU. Not even a post-it note. Just dust and the faint scent of Grandpa's old spice. Digging deeper was easy in the age of Google and public records, tools the FBI wishes they had back in the day. A quick search on the county clerk site revealed the refinance on our house 3 years running, each time pulling equity to fund the business. Dad's business was a joke, a half-assed contracting gig flipping foreclosures in Pilsen, where he'd pocket kickbacks from shady suppliers and blame delays on the economy. But the real kicker? Wire transfers to an offshore account in Mom's maiden name, Belize. Of all places. The money laundering playground for wannabe kingpins. $500,000. Siphoned in chunks of $50K. Timed perfectly after Grandpa's will reading. They'd forged his signature on the trust amendment, claiming he'd change his mind to help with family debts. Family debts my ass. Those dollars bought them a timeshare in Florida, a Botox fund for mom's self-care, and dad's gambling habit at the Horseshoe Casino, blackjack tables where he'd lose thousands chasing the high of a royal flush. I confronted them the next morning over cold cereal, the kind with the prizes that stopped mattering after age 10. Where's the money? Mom?
Dad.
My voice cracked. But I held their gaze, the kitchen clock ticking like a bomb. Dad laughed first. That barking hyena sound that always signaled bullshit. What money? Sport? Your grandpa was broke as a joke when he croaked. We covered the funeral. Hell, we covered you. Mom chimed in, her voice syrupy sweet. The southern lilt she'd faked since moving north to snag Dad. Baby, life's tough. We did what we had to. College? You'll figure it out. Community? Maybe? Or trade school? Trade school. From the man who'd beaten the welfare out of me with a belt for bringing home A, B, and woodshop. The hypocrisy burned hotter than the time Dad torched his tax returns in the backyard fire pit. That was the spark. Revenge isn't born in a vacuum. It's fermented in the quiet hours when trust curdles into venom. I played nice for weeks, smiling through family dinners, nodding at their tales of hard times, while plotting in the shadows of my bedroom. The walls papered with faded posters of Obama '08 and the Cubs' cursed championship drought. First, I documented everything, screenshots, bank statements pulled from a dummy account I'd opened in Grandpa's name. Turns out, executor privileges linger if you know the loopholes. Then, the leverage. Dad had a side hustle skimming from city contracts, bribes to inspectors for passing shoddy wiring that could fry a block. I hacked his email, password, Fuckthunian 1947, because irony, and found the paper trail, emails to a councilman in the 30th Ward, promising consulting fees for greenlighting a strip mall that'd displace half a neighborhood. But the real secret? The one that twisted the knife deeper? It wasn't just greed. Grandpa hadn't died of cancer alone. Dad had pushed him hard during an argument over the trust, months before the diagnosis. A slip down the basement stairs. They called it. But the ER notes I FOIA'd from Cook County Hospital painted a different picture. Fractured ribs. Internal bruising consistent with a fall. Or a shove. Grandpa covered for him. Of course, family first. Blood thicker than the truth. Boys will be boys, he'd wheezed from his hospital bed, while I held his hand, oblivious. That mistake? I bore it every day, carrying the guilt of not seeing the monster in my own house. Dad's flip-flopping charm, loving father 1 minute, tyrant the next, had gaslit us all. Mom knew, she always did, her silence the co-conspirator. By summer's end, I was a ghost in my own home, working double shifts at the Jewel-Osco deli counter to scrape tuition for community college, Harold, Washington, where dreams go to audit classes. But the plan crystallized one humid night in August, lightning cracking over the loop like divine applause. I'd expose them. Sure, leak the docs to the Sun-Times. Watch the feds raid our split level like a bad episode of The Wire. But that was too clean. Too American justice with its plea deals and slaps on the wrist.
No.
This needed teeth. Personal. The kind that leaves scars deeper than concrete. I started small, anonymous tips to Dad's suppliers, cutting off his credit lines until he was begging loans from bookies. Mom's spa days turned to overdraft fees. Her Instagram facade cracking with posts about tough love. They fought more. Voices echoing through thin walls, accusations flying like shrapnel. You spent it all on that whore in Florida, Dad bellowed one night. Better than your poker piss-ups, Mom fired back. I listened from the stairs, notebook in hand, chronicling the fractures. It was cathartic, watching their empire of lies crumble from the inside. But controversy brewed. Was I the villain now, puppeteering their downfall? Friends at the store whispered, "Dude, your folks ain't saints. But this cold? It's biblical." Biblical.
Yeah.
Eye for an eye. But in the Windy City, that meant blood on the Magnificent Mile. Fall semester hit like a freight train. Intro to Psych, where the prof droned about betrayal trauma. And I doodled nooses in the margins. I deferred Northwestern, citing financial aid issues, but the dean emailed sympathy, hinting at private scholarships for resilient students. Resilient. If only they knew. Back home, Dad's temper flared. He smashed the TV during a Bears loss, blaming the Jews in the front office. Mom retreated to whine, her once perfect bob now frizzed and forgotten. I played the dutiful son, cooking meals, fixing the leaky faucet, while wiring funds from their joint account to a burner charity for abused kids. Poetic, right? Stealing from thieves to feed the innocent. The first big flip came at Thanksgiving. We drove to Aunt Linda's in Oak Park, the turkey farm fresh and the pie laced with regret. Dad cornered me in the garage, breath reeking of bourbon. Heard you're slinging cold cuts for pennies. Proud of you. Kid, real grit. His hand clamped my shoulder, vice tight, eyes probing for weakness. I smiled, the one I'd practiced in the mirror, and said, "Grit's genetic."
Dad.
Like how you gripped Grandpa that night on the stairs. His face drained of color, turkey neck quivering. What the fuck you on about? But I saw it, the flinch, the lie dying on his lips. Mom overheard from the doorway, her wineglass trembling. That dinner was silent warfare, passive-aggressive jabs over cranberry sauce, Dad's fork stabbing like a shank. Aunt Linda noticed, pulling me aside later. Your pa's always been a hothead.
But you're
different. Colder. Cold. The word stuck. A badge or a curse. Winter clamped down, snow burying the city in white lies. I escalated, forged IRS audits in Dad's name, watching him sweat audits that weren't real until the real ones came calling. Mom's credit cards maxed on emergencies. Turns out, her lover in Belize was demanding his cut, a pool boy with abs and an alibi. The affair? Another gem from Dad's emails. Photos time-stamped during business trips. They turned on each other like rats in a trap, Mom accusing Dad of the trust theft, him countering with her tropical getaways. I fueled the fire anonymously. Reddit AMAs from throwaways, AATA for leaking my parents' affair? The upvotes rolled in. The comments a chorus of burn it down.
king.
By New Year's, the house was a powder keg. Dad pawned Grandpa's war medals for bail after a bar fight, caught on body cams slugging a bouncer over a lost bet. Mom filed for separation, holing up in a motel off I-90. Her lawyer sniffing around for assets that didn't exist. I visited her there, bringing takeout from Giordano's, the deep dish apiece offering laced with truth serum. Why'd you let him hurt Grandpa? I asked, casual as cheese pulls. She crumbled, mascara rivers on her cheeks. It was an accident, baby. He was drunk, yelling about the money. Jack just slipped. The word she'd fed the cops. The coroner.
Me.
But her eyes, those dead fish orbs, betrayed the push. The cover-up. We needed it, she sobbed. For us. For a fresh start. Fresh start. At my expense. That confession was the pivot. No more games. I confronted Dad solo. In the garage where it all unraveled. Tools clattered as he swung a wrench. Wild-eyed. You think you're smart?
Huh?
Digging up old shit. I dodged. The metal whistling past my ear. Old shit like attempted murder? Or embezzlement. He lunged. But I was faster. Years of track meets paying off. I pinned him against the workbench. His breath hot and hateful. You're just like your grandpa, weak.
Weak.
The trigger word. I headbutt him. Cartilage crunching. Blood spraying the concrete like abstract art. He slumped. Wheezing. And in that moment, I saw the flip, not monster, but man broken.
Begging.
Please, son. We can fix this. Family. Family. The lie that birthed the beast. But mercy? That's for suckers in feel-good Hallmark specials. I zip-tied him, gagged with his own bandana, and dragged him to the basement, the same stairs Grandpa slipped on. Mom arrived an hour later, hysterical, phone in hand for 9/11. I was ready, duct tape, zip ties, the works. Join the party, I said, voice steady as Lakeshore Drive traffic. Her screams echoed as I bound her. The three of us, a twisted family portrait. Explanations tumbled out, denials. Please. Counter-accusations. Dad blaming Mom's spending. Her his violence.
Me?
I laid it bare. The theft. The lie. The blood on their hands. You stole my future. Now I'll bury yours. The crawl space was Grandpa's idea, a Prohibition-era hidey hole under the foundation, sealed after the feds raided bootleggers in '29. I unearthed it with a pickaxe borrowed from Dad's truck, the earth cold and unyielding. One by one, I lowered them in, Dad first, spitting curses, Mom second, praying Hail Marys like they meant something. This is murder, he roared. Self-defense, I countered, shovel poised. You killed Grandpa slow. I'm just speeding up the end. The concrete mixer I'd rented from Home Depot hummed like Judgment Day. Gray slurry pouring in waves. There, please morph to bargains. We'll pay it back. Double. But the math didn't lie. $500,000. Plus interest. Plus the years lost to their shadow. As the mix set, I sat on the edge, feet dangling into the void, and read from Grandpa's dog-eared Bible, the one with the Psalms underlined in faded ink. Vengeance is mine, saith the Lord. But in America, land of the free and home of the pissed off, we DIY our reckonings. The final twist? I didn't kill them clean. I left a phone, charged, with 911 on speed dial, taped just out of reach. Enough air for a miracle if the cops came quick. But who calls when pride's the only lifeline? Hours ticked by, no sirens. By dawn, silence. I patched the floor seamless, vacuumed the dust, and drove to Northwestern that morning, tuition wired from their offshore slush fund, hacked and rerouted overnight. Acceptance reinstated. Scholarship intact. The dean shook my hand at orientation. Glad you made it, son. What's your story? I smiled. The real one this time. Family pulled through. Pulled through. Irony. The great American pastime. But here's the debate. The one that keeps me up nights. Was it justice or just another cycle of abuse? Dad's violence birthed mine. Their greed mirrored my theft. Polarizing.
right?
Heroes and villains blurred in the basement gloom. Some say I should have lawyered up, let the system grind them to dust. Others cheer the vigilante, toasting with craft IPAs to the underdog's bite.
Me?
I walk the quad now, lectures on ethics ringing hollow, wondering if Grandpa's smiling from whatever heaven Rust Belt vets go to. Or if he's ashamed, seeing his legacy poured in concrete. The end? Call it tragic triumph. I got the degree, the job at a loop firm, corporate law, specializing in estates and trusts. Irony again. But every Father's Day, I pour one out for the crawl space, toasting the ghosts who taught me, in the land of opportunity, betrayal's the real equalizer. And revenge? It's the sequel nobody sees coming. Flashback to the summer of 2013, when I was 14 and the world still felt like a baseball diamond, endless innings, hot dogs, and the crack of a Louisville slugger against a fastball. Grandpa Jack had taken me to Wrigley Field for my birthday, the ivy walls bleeding green under the July sun, the bleacher bums hollering like it was the last out of the apocalypse. He bought me a jersey with Rizzo's name on the back, the fabric stiff with newness, and a foot-long loaded with everything but regret. This, he said, chewing slow, is America.
Kid.
You work hard. You get the win. But watch your back. Folks'll steal the bases if you blink. I didn't get it then.
How could I?
Home was a split level on the edge of Lincoln Park. The kind of place where lawns were mowed weekly and minivans gleamed in driveways like promises.
Dad.
Mike Harlan was the king of the cul-de-sac, barbecues on the 4th, waving the flag like it owed him royalties. 6'2", broad as a doorframe, with a laugh that boomed over the grill smoke. Mom, Cheryl, was the queen, PDA president, bake sale wizard, her highlights shining like fool's gold. They doted on me, their only shot at legacy after 2 miscarriages etched lines around her smile. Our little scholar, she'd coo, packing lunches with notes folded into cranes. But cracks spiderwebbed even then. Dad's overtime at the construction site stretched into bar tabs at O'Rourke's, coming home with whiskey breath and belt in hand for lessons in manhood. Mom's girls' nights were Zoloft-fueled vents with wine moms, hiding statements from Nordstrom racks in the laundry hamper. Grandpa saw it all. His visits like oil changes, regular, necessary, with a side of hard truths. Your pa's got demons.
Boy.
War skipped him, but resentment didn't. Grandpa had served in the Pacific, island hopping hell that left him with nightmares and a pension he parlayed into the trust. For you, he'd say, tapping my chest. College. Get out. Build something bigger than this fence. The trust was his masterpiece, an irrevocable deal with the bank, triggered on his death, untouchable by vultures. He showed me the papers once, in his den cluttered with model ships and faded photos of Grandma in her nurse's cap. See this clause? Blood beneficiary only. Your folks can't touch it. I nodded, half listening, dreaming of Xbox instead of legalese. Little did I know, vultures don't need wings, they need forgeries. That fall, things shifted. Grandpa started coughing, dry hacks at first, dismissed as fall allergies. Dad mocked him over Thanksgiving turkey. Old man's allergic to losing at euchre. Laughter rippled. But Grandpa's eyes met mine.
Weary.
By Christmas, the cough wettened. Blood flecked on handkerchiefs he hid. Mom fussed, brewing teas and booking docs. But Dad waved it off. Hypochondriac bullshit. Save the copay for something useful. Useful. like the down payment on the hot tub they deserved after years of sacrifice. The argument happened New Year's Eve, 2014, ticking in like a fuse. I'd crashed early, post-midnight countdown. But voices pulled me to the stairs, shadow puppets on the landing light. Dad in the kitchen, slurring about my house, my rules.
Grandpa.
Frail but fierce. That money's for the boy.
Mike.
Not your pipe dreams. Pipe dreams, Dad's flip house scheme. Borrowing against the home equity for a Pilsen property that'd make us millionaires. Grandpa had fronted seed money once. Lost it to bad plumbing.
Now.
The trust loomed like a wall. Fuck your trust, Dad bellowed. Chair scraping. A scuffle, thuds, grunts. Then the slip. Or shove. Grandpa's gasp echoed, body tumbling down the basement stairs like a discarded rag. I bolted down, heart jackhammering, finding him crumpled at the bottom, arm twisted wrong, face ashen. Jack. Mom shrieked from above, phone in hand. Dad hovered. Panicked. He tripped.
Share.
Tripped on the goddamn cat. No cat. But the story stuck. Yar report. Accidental fall. Elderly patient. Bruises on his back consistent with impact. But no witnesses.
Grandpa.
Bandaged in his hospital bed. Squeezed my hand. Not his fault.
Kid.
Ice on the stairs. Slippery. Lies. To protect the bloodline. But his eyes, those steel blue mirrors, whispered truth. He lingered 6 weeks. Chemo a cruel joke on his frame. I visited daily. Skipping basketball practice. Reading Vonnegut aloud while machines beeped dirges. Slaughterhouse-Five, he chuckled weakly. Tralfamadorians got the right idea, live all moments at once. But his moments were stolen, body betraying under the weight of secrets. Mom managed the bills. Dad the errands, signing papers at the bank, amending the trust for medical liquidity. Forgery 101. Grandpa's Parkinson's tremble mimicked on the signature line. Notarized by a cousin in on the take. Funeral came in February. Snow blanketing Calvary Cemetery like absolution. Dad eulogized. Jack Harlan. Patriot. Provider, gone too soon. Crocodile tears. But the crowd ate it up, uncles clapping his back. Aunts hugging Mom. I stood apart, clutching the Rizzo jersey. Now too small. The reading followed in the lawyer's office. Air thick with aftershave and avarice. To my grandson, Ethan, the corpus of the trust. Upon majority. Cheers. Hugs. But Dad's grip lingered, whispering, "We'll manage it till you're ready." Sport. Investments. Growth.
Growth.
Into their pockets. Spring thawed the ground, but not the chill in my veins. School blurred. AP Calc. Debate club wins, but home festered. Dad's flip started, doting Dad at Little League fundraisers. Then demon at dinner over AC in history. Colleges want A's. Not excuses. Belt cracks on my thighs. Welts blooming like accusations. Mom mediated with apologies. Ice packs. He's stressed. Baby. Stressed from the first withdrawals. $20K for business capital, wired to his contractor pal. I found the statements in the glove box. Dad's truck idling while he napped off a bender. Summer job at the car wash, hosing suds, dreaming of escape. Grandpa's absence echoed. No Sunday waffles. No shop talks on carburetors. I confronted Mom once. Casual over laundry. Trust okay? Dad mentioned fees. Her smile faltered. All good. Han. Growing. Growing lies. By August, the balance dipped 400K, then 300, funneling to Florida condos, Dad's investment property, Mom's trip south, visiting kin, but photos leaked later, her with a tanned stranger, my ties and mischief. Sophomore year, I buried the doubt. Northwestern pamphlets under my pillow, ACT scores mailed. Friends partied. I plotted escapes in journals, code for the rage building. Dad's violence escalated, a shove into the wall for backtalk, Mom's black eye from a fall. She covered. Always. Men provide, women endure. Endure. Until I couldn't. Junior year brought the first leak. A nosy guidance counselor, Mrs. Patel, pulled me aside. Ethan, your app, financials look off. Trust mentioned. I froze, then bluffed. Family handling. But seeds planted. Home. Dad's rages peaked, fired from a site for attitude, blaming unions like Grandpa once did. Commie bastards, he'd rant. Punching drywall. Mom's wine intake doubled, bottles hidden like shame. Senior year. Acceptance letter arrived, gold embossed. Gateway to glory. Party at home. Cake. Balloons. Dad toasting to Ethan. The first Harlan with letters after his name. Letters like I owe you. The confrontation loomed, but I delayed, savoring the illusion. Until the garage. The cash spill. The empty box. Pandora's toolbox.
Now.
In hindsight from the quad, those years were the prologue, betrayal's slow burn. Dad's shove was an accident, it was catalyst. Unleashing the greed they'd leashed. Mom's complicity, survival, or sin, controversial calls.
Each.
But the trust shadow? It shaped me, forging the blade I wielded in the basement. Vengeance isn't sudden. It's sedimentary. Layers of hurt hardening to stone. The digital age is a double-edged sword, cuts deep for the guilty, carves paths for the vengeful. Armed with nothing but a library card and Wi-Fi from the free hotspot at the Panera on Clark Street, I became a ghost in the machine. It started with basic searches, Cook County probate records, trust fund amendments, Illinois. Dry as dust, but gold for a kid with nothing left to lose. Grandpa's will was public domain. Filed post-mortem. The language ironclad. Irrevocable transfer to beneficiary Ethan Harlan. Upon attaining age 18. For educational purposes exclusively. Exclusively. The word mocked me as I printed copies at the corner Kinko's. $15 burning a hole in my sock drawer savings. Amendments? There. 2-3. Dated February 10th, 2014. Notarized by Uncle Ray, Dad's golf buddy, with a law degree from a mail-order mill. Signature, Jack Harlan. Scrawled shaky. Dated a week after the fall. Medical records cross-referenced. Grandpa in ICU. Morphine dazed. Thumbprint invalid under duress. Forgery. Plain as the nose on Dad's drunk mug. Deeper dives required finesse. I created burners, Gmail, Proton Mail, posing as concerned relative to the bank's fraud line. Routine verification. The rep chirped. Voice scripted. I fed her dates. Amounts. She confirmed withdrawals. 50K chunks to Harlan Family Enterprises LLC, Dad's shell for the flips. Offshore? Trickier. Belize Bank International. Privacy fortress. But U.S. Wires leave trails. FinCEN database hacks?
No.
To Hollywood. Instead, Mom's Facebook, overshared life in pixels, check-ins at K Cocker Getaway, tagged with Raul Mendez, adventure guide,
Raul.
six-pack and Speedos, comments from friends dripping envy. I reverse image searched his mug. Bingo. Escort ads on a shady site. Discreet companionship for discerning ladies. Leverage piled like snowdrifts. Dad's emails. Cracked via keylogger on the family PC. Thank you. YouTube tutorials. Spilled the rest. Kickbacks from Rizzo Construction. Irony. Same name as the jersey. Emails to Alderman Kowalski. Appreciate the fast track. Lunch on me at Gibson's. Gibson's. Steakhouse for the corrupt. Where deals sizzle rarer than conscience. I screenshot.
Timestamp.
Folder named Paydirt. But the secret's core? Grandpa's deathbed whisper. Pieced from hospital visits I replayed in nightmares. Nurse notes. Patient agitated. Alleging assault by son-in-law. Family denies. Denied. Dad's flip that day. Charming visitor to the staff. Just a tumble. Folks, then terror to Grandpa. Alone. Keep your mouth shut. Or the kid pays. The kid.
Me.
That's the mistake I bore. Innocent shield for their sins. Carrying guilt like a backpack of bricks. Every A I aced. Every goal I scored. Tainted by the shadow of that shove. I tested the waters subtly. Slipped a printout under Dad's truck seat. Anonymized audit notice from IRS Fraud Division. His reaction? Gold. Pacing the driveway at 2 a.m. Phone glued to ear. Ray. You dumb fuck. The trail's hot. Ray's reply leaked later. Blame Cheryl's spending. That spick toy boy's bleeding us.
Spick.
Dad's slurs. Casual as ketchup on fries. Now weaponized. Mom's turn came via caring friend text from a burner. Links to Raul's profile. Captioned, "Miss you in paradise?" Her reply? Panic emojis. Then deletion frenzy. But screenshots don't lie. She confronted Dad that night, china shattering. Voices volcanic. You hacked me? You paranoid prick. Him. Better me than the feds. You Belize whore. I eavesdropped from the attic. Heart pounding. Notebook filling with ammo. School suffered, CS and trig. Counselor notes on withdrawal. But withdrawal was strategy. Play the broken son. Earn sympathy. Mrs. Patel cornered me again. Ethan. Scholarships wait for no one.
Talk to me.
I did. Sanitized. Family money troubles. Trust issues. Her eyes narrowed. Legal aid? I know a pro bono. Tempting. But no, law was their game. Flipped with bribes. Mine needed dirtier hands. Escalation. Anonymous post to Chicago Reddit, r/Chicago. AITA for reporting parents' fraud? Details blurred. But locals bit. Sounds like my ex's folks, nail. Tips flooded. PI firms on contingency. Whistleblower hotlines. I hired Vic Russo. Ex-cop turned snoop. $500 down from deli tips. Kid, he growled over burner call. This is dynamite. But careful, Harlan's got reach. Reach like Dad's union pals. The ones who'd persuade snitches. Vic's report landed via encrypted drop. Photos of Mom and Raul. Beachside. Ledgers of Dad's skim. Totaling $200K. Hospital affidavit from a night nurse. Retired. Willing to swear Grandpa named names. Assault, she scrawled. Deliberate. The twist? She added. Boy, Ethan. Visited often. Good kid. Deserves better.
Deserves.
The word fueled me. But controversy crept. Was I desecrating Grandpa's family first code? Or honoring it by excising the rot? By winter break, the noose tightened. Dad's truck repossessed, tips to the lender on asset hiding. Mom's cards declined at Whole Foods. Her cart abandoned mid-aisle. They blamed each other. Dinners devolving to interrogations. Where's the trust go? Dad demanded. Your goddamn casino. Mom spat. I mediated. Saintly, let's pray on it.
Prayer.
Hollow as their excuses. New Year's resolution. Full exposure. Drafted emails to the Sun-Times. Sun-Times to feds. But fate flipped. Dad's heart scare. Mild infarction from stress. Hospital again. Irony's echo. I sat vigil. Holding his hand. The monster's pulse weak. Sorry. Son, he murmured. Doped on morphine. For everything. Everything. Confession or con. Mom hovered. Tears real for once. Pity stirred, Stockholm's whisper. But pity's a luxury for the unbroken. Discharge brought détente. Family therapy flyers on the fridge. Dad's AA chip glinting. Fake peace. But I used it, gained access to the safe deposit box. For reconciliation. Empty. Of course. But fingerprints fresh. Theirs. Lab test via Vic. Matches. Proof. Spring thaw mirrored my resolve. Northwestern deferral loomed. I packed a go bag. Cash stash. Falsified transcripts for a fresh start. But revenge called louder. The basement beckoned. Concrete mixer idling in dreams. Was it murder? Or mercy kill for a family long dead? The unraveling peaked at prom me stag. Tux rented. Dancing solo to Uptown Funk. Home late. Found them mid-fight. Dad waving a Belize bank statement. Mom clawing his face. Thief. Slut. I intervened. Voice calm. Stop. Or I will. Their eyes fear. Finally. The power shift. Electric. That night. Alone. I pen the hook. 3 truths to gut them. But hooks need bait. I waited. Biting. The forge heating for the blade's edge. Dad's charm was a chameleon. Iridescent one moment. Venomous the next. Monday mornings. He'd blast Springsteen from the garage radio. Grease monkey grin as he taught me to change oil. Feel that.
Ethan?
Engine's heart. Yours too, keep it tuned. By Friday. After a lost bid or bar tab. The flip. Eyes narrowing over homework. Lazy shit. Just like your mother's side. The belt. The bruises. Always for your own good.
Good.
American as apple pie and domestic abuse stats. 1 in 7 kids. Per the CDC. But who's counting when it's family? Mom's flips were subtler. Surgical. PDA meetings. Supermom. Organizing silent auctions with Pinterest precision. Home. Ghost. Scrolling Zillow for escapes. Wine glass perpetual. Your father's under pressure. Baby. Provide means protect.
Protect.
From what? The mirror? Her affair started small, flirty texts to Raoul during Dad's conferences, evolving to weekends, visiting friends. She justified it in whispers to her mirror. A woman needs spark.
Spark.
While Dad smoldered. Their synergy was the real villain, mosaic of manipulation. Dad's violence provided cover for Mom's thefts. Her tears disarmed my doubts. The trust? Joint heist. Dad forging. Mom notarizing via Uncle Ray's blind eye. For the family, they'd chorus. But family meant them upgrades over my undergrad. I mirrored their flips. Survival school. School face, Ethan the Eagle. Debate champ arguing, affirmative actions double-edged. Home face, dutiful doormat. Absorbing hits with yes, sir. But inside, fractures formed, trust shattered like the windshield dad punched after a fender bender. Blaming the other guy. Junior year, a fracture cracked wide. Dad's flip house in Pilsen collapsed, literal. Beam buckling undercut corners. Injuring a worker. Lawsuit loomed. He flipped to fury. Beating mom bloody over your spending pushed us here. I intervened. Taking the brunt. Fist to jaw. Taste of copper. Our lie slipped on ice. Again. Mom's ice. Vodka tonics. Her flip post-assault. Doting nurse. Cooing apologies. Slipping me hundreds for college fun. Stolen hundreds. That summer. Fractures fueled fuel. I volunteered at a legal aid clinic, filing for low-income folks, evictions, custodies. Irony. Helping strangers while home hemorrhaged.
Met Sarah there?
Paralegal intern. Sharp as a stiletto, brown curls. Laugh like wind chimes. What's your damage? She asked over clinic coffee. Damage. I spilled sanitized. Parents' money mess. She nodded. Eyes knowing. Been there. Run if you can.
Run.
To her. Later, stolen kisses in the file room. Her apartment a sanctuary of thrift store art and Thai takeout. You're more than them, she'd murmur. Tracing my scars.
More.
But doubt lingered. Was I flipping to use her? Taking her warmth to thaw my cold? Dad's next flip. Redemption arc. Post-heart scare. AA meetings. Sponsor calls. Hugs instead of hits. Turning a corner. Son. Corner. Until the lawsuit hit. Workers suing for negligence. Discovery dredging emails. Panic flip. They're framing me. Union plot. Blaming shadows. Me included. You and your snooping. Snooping? He rifled my room. Finding Vic's report draft. Confrontation. Wrench again. But I parried. Knee to gut. Touch me. And it's over. Over. The word hung. Threat or promise. Mom's fracture showed in cracks, Raoul demanding investment, her tears over drained accounts. I did it for us, she confessed one night.
Post went. Us.
Not me. Her flip to ally. Help mama fix this. Against him. Against. Divide and conquer. Their old play. I feigned alliance. Extracting more. The notary stamp from Ray. The Belize routing number. Sarah saw the fractures. This revenge? It's fracturing you. True.
Nights.
I'd wake sweating basement dreams. Concrete choking. Controversial. Was flipping their tactics justice or jaundice? Poisoning my core? Friends drifted. Ethan's intense lately. Intense. Code for unraveling. Prom night fracture. Dad gifted a corsage. Teary. Proud. Kid.
Proud.
Hours later. Fight erupts. Mom's phone buzzing Raoul. I filmed it. Shaky cam confession. End it. Or I do. Their faces shock. Then scheming smiles. Family sticks, Dad said. Sticks. Like tar babies. Post-prom. Sarah's bed. Her head on my chest. What's next? Next. The mixer rental. The zip ties in my drawer. Ending it. Ending. She pulled away. Eyes wide. That's not you.
Not me.
But who was? The golden boy. Or the gravedigger. Fractures peaked in May, Northwestern call. Deferral approved. But appeal? Appeal. To what? Dad's AA relapse. Bottle shards in the sink. Mom's meltdown. Packing for Belize solo. I appealed to ghosts. Grandpa's Bible. Psalms 137. Daughter of Babylon. Happy shall he be that taketh thy little ones and dasheth them.
Dasheth. Biblical flip to barbarity.
Decision night. Family meeting.
Forced.
The truth, I said, laying docs. Denials flip to deals. We'll repay. Slowly, slowly. Like cancer.
No.
The basement called. Fractures fusing to resolve. Sarah's final text. Choose life. Not legacy. Legacy. Theirs. Or mine.
Ishosmin dak.
Debated. But mine. The basement air hung heavy. Musty with mildew and memory. Grandpa's workbench still scarred from his fall. Tools rusted like forgotten oaths. I'd prepped for days. Plastic sheeting from Dad's truck. Borrowed without ask. Zip ties from the hardware aisle. Innocuous as bread ties. The mixer. Yellow behemoth parked in the alley under. Renovation permit lie. Heart steady. Pulse even. Adrenaline's gift. Or dissociation's curse. Dad first. Lured with beer. Truce talk.
Pa.
His AA chip mocking as he swigged. Garage ambush. Choke hold from behind. Ragdosed chloroform from Vicks PI kit. He bucked. Eyes bulging. But 200 pounds of dead weight slumped easy. Dragged to stairs. Knees protesting. Each thump an echo of Grandpa's tumble. Bound in the corner. Ankles to wrists. Duct tape symphony over mouth. Awakening. Muffled roars. Veins popping like map roads. I peeled a strip. Remember Jack? Your turn to slip. His flip, rage to reason. Ethan.
Son. Mistake.
Therapy.
Therapy.
For sociopaths? Mom next. Easier prey. Emergency. Text from her phone. Swipe during hug. Motel pickup. Her in yoga pants and denial. Chattering about fresh starts. Taser buzz from Amazon Prime. Her flop theatrical. Eyes rolling white. Hull down. Sweat slick. Positioning beside Dad. Duo duet. His glares.
Her sobs.
Tape removal round 2. Why? Baby? We love you.
Love.
Currency for control. Reckoning circle. Me perched on the washer. Docs fanned like poker hand. Exhibit A. Forgery.
B. Assault.
C. Theft, my future. Pages rustled. Their eyes devouring damnation. Dad first. Twisted it all. Jack tripped. Drunk himself. Lie detector. My recording of the nurse. Played tinny from phone.
Flinch.
Mom. For security.
Hun.
Your father's debts. Debts from his bets. Her baubles. Counter. Raoul's nudes. Emailed to her lover sis forward. Her wail. Vicious. Like him. Flips flew. Alliances shifting like sand. Dad to mom. Your whore ways drained us. Her to him. Your fist started this. Jack saw.
Saw.
Admission slip. Golden. I pressed. Confess.
Full.
Or the pour starts now. Confessions cascaded. Dad's shove. Push too far. He grabbed the bottle. Bottle as weapon. Self-defense flip. Mom's complicity. Held his hand after. Said it was fine.
Fine.
For the money. Controversy brewed in their pleas. Dad's tears. I changed AA proves. Mom's bargain. Take the accounts. Leave us. Accounts empty. But the offer polarized mercy or manipulation.
Me?
The decider. God in the gloom. You bore my mistake, I said to Dad. Covered your crime. Carried the guilt.
Guilt.
His nod. Broken. Didn't want you hurt. Hurt. Irony. Crawl space breach. Pickaxe swings. Earth yielding grudging. Hole yawned. Black maw. Lowering ritual. Dad kicking. Murder. Like me. Projections bite. Mom praying. Rosary from pocket. Catholic guilt. Late bloom. Concrete hummed. Slurry gray as regret.
First pour, Ankh.
Their howls harmonizing. Stop. We'll rot here. Dad.
Rot.
Poetic. Mid-pour flip. Dad's offer. Keys to the safe, real one. In the bank. 100K left.
Left.
Lie or lifeline? I paused. Mixer idling. Mom echoed. Truth. Baby.
For you.
Temptations whisper. Polarize the poor? But Vic's report. Safe empty months ago. Bluff called. Liars pour. Slurry rose. Knees to waist. Screams to whimpers. Twisties. Phone drop. 911 queued. Reach if you repent. Repent. Out of grasp. Symbolism stark. Their scrabble. Fingers clawing air. Bonds biting flesh. No reach. Final words. Dad's forgive. Croak. Mom's sorry, sigh.
Pour complète.
Trowel smooth. Silence settled. Heavy as the set. Upstairs. Vacuum hum. Bleach sting. Go bag packed. But no flight. Northwestern waited. Wire transfer. Offshore hack. 300K rerouted via crypto tumble.
Clean.
Dean's email. Welcome back. Sarah's call. Where are you?
You.
Fractured me. Fixing family. Family.
Ghost now.
Reckoning's afterglow. Power's poison. Sweet then sick. Was it climax or collapse? Readers. You judge. Justice's jury.
Poste pour down broc bloody.
Sun slicing through blinds like accusations. House sterile. Air freshener masking the faint wet cement whiff. Floors seamless underfoot. I showered hot. Scrubbing phantom dirt. Sarah's text unread. Miss you. Talk.
Talk.
About tombs? Morning ritual flip. Breakfast alone.
Cap'n crunch soggy.
TV droning local news. Another loop shooting. Alderman's scandal. Irony. Kowalski's face. Dad's lunch pal. Indicted for bribes. My anonymous tip. Weeks old. Blooming. Coffee bitter. Future bright. Northwestern portal open. Dorm assignment. Willard Residential. Room 312. Drive to campus. I-94 clogged with commuters. WGN radio ranting tuition hikes. American dream deferred. Host griped. Deferred. No more. Admissions office. Dean Hargrove. Tweed jacket. Handshake firm. Glad you're joining us. Ethan. Rough patch.
Patch.
Family finances. I lied smooth. His nod. Resilient stock. We've got work study. Grants. Resilient. Badge now. Dorm check-in. Bunk beds. Mini fridge hum. Roommate Nate. Pre-med from Naperville. Fidget spinner addict.
Joe.
Harlan. Cool name. Breaking bad vibes. Vibes. I laughed. Unpacked. Clothes. Laptop.
No ghosts.
Orientation blur. Icebreakers. Fun fact. I'm from Chicago. Deep dish rules. Rules. Broken now. Classes hit hard. Econ 101. Supply-demand curves mocking stolen trusts. Prof droned Adam Smith. I doodled nooses. Psych elective. Betrayal modules. Freud shadows. Vengeance cycle, TA said. Cycle. Basement loop in my skull. Screams echoing concrete cracks.
Nights.
Echoes amplified. Nate's snore soundtrack to replays. Dad's plea. Mom's prayer. Guilt's flip. Monster or Messiah. Reddit therapy, throwaway post. Hypothetical. Buried abusers alive. Ida. Comments war. Hero arc versus. Psycho, therapy stat. Polarized perfected. Sarah surfaced week 2. Coffee at the Dearborn. Her eyes searching. You ghosted.
Why? Ghosted. Apt.
Family imploded. Imploded. Her hand on mine. Tell.
Tell.
Gush. Theft. Lies. But basement blur. Cut ties hard.
Hard.
She squeezed. Proud. But haunted. Haunted.
Yes.
Work-study gig. Library stacks. Shelving tomes on torts. Ironic undergrad pre-law. Vic called. Harlan. Feds circling your folks LLC. Clean hands.
Hands.
Washed. But stained. Cleaner than theirs. His chuckle. Kid. Your ice. Echoes peaked midterms fever dream. Concrete cracking. Hands clawing out. Woke sweating. Nate oblivious. Campus counseling. Stress normal for transfers. Normal. I nodded. Pocketed the referral. Thanksgiving loomed. Empty quad. Greyhound home.
No.
House waited. Silent sentinel. Drove anyway. Key turning like fate. Inside. Dust motes dance. Fridge hum empty.
Basement door. Ayar.
Air still. Peak. Floor pristine. But ear to ground, nothing. Or everything. Aunt Linda's invite. Join us. Ethan, Mike, and Cheryl. Missing.
Missing.
Trip, I lied. Her pause. Odd. Call if need.
Need.
Family remnants. Holiday solo. Microwave turkey. Netflix binge The Undoing. Ironic privilege. Echo. Dad's voice. Proud.
Proud.
Of what? Spring break. Belize lore. Hack Raoul's email. Cheryl's ghosted. Chicago cold? His reply. Drama queen. Send more.
More.
Wired pennies. Account freeze. Echo. Mom's sob. Spark. Spark. Extinguished. Finals crush. A's etched. GPA gleaming. Dean's note. Exceptional resilience. Resilience. Concrete strong. Summer internship. Loop firm. Estates department. Ironclad trusts.
Client whipping legacy.
Boss. Harlan. You get it, blood's thick. But law's thicker.
Thicker.
I nodded. Filing forgeries in mind. Echoes faded to hum. Therapy helped. Sarah too. Move on, she urged.
On. To what?
Vengeance is void. Echoing empty. Twist whisper. News blip. Crawl space dig and Pilsen flip. Bodies found. Not mine. Coincidence? Or karma's copycat? Echoes linger. But quieter. Concrete hold secrets, so do I. College life's veneer, tailgates, theses, Tinder swipes, cracked under debates weight. Was I avenger or abuser? Friend circle. Nate's dude. Your folks sound toxic, good riddance. Versus. Sarah's vigilante justice? Slippery slope.
Slope.
Slid down it.
Nobrax.
Campus forums fueled fire. Philosophy club. Ethics of retribution. I lurked. Anonymous. Hypo. Parents steal inheritance. Cover murder. What's fair payback? Debates raged. Kantian duty versus utilitarian math. Half mil stolen? Life sentence fits.
Fits.
Like concrete shoes. Online.
Reddites lomítko a mitaskole balund. 5 kapvotes.
Mods pinning. White EA for even thinking it versus NTA, society, failed first.
Failed.
CPS calls ignored. Teachers blind. American blind spot. Family sanctity over child safety. VIX update. Feds raided Harlan Enterprises, shell cracked. 150K seized. Uncle Ray indicted. Flipper to snitch. Mike masterminded. Mastermind. Dad's legacy. Debated in court TV clips. No bodies. No basement breach. Permit filed as foundation repair. Inspector greased pre-tip. Aunt Linda cornered via email. Ethan. Where are they? Cops asking. Asking. Extended vacae. Bluff. Her reply. Liar.
Saw the docs. Forgery.
But violence? Not Jack's boy.
Boy.
Grow now. Grayscale. Sarah's debate peaked date 3. Post-dinner walk along Lakeville. Wind whipping waves. You didn't hurt them, right?
Right.
Lie stuck. Just exposed. Exposed. Half-truth. Her kiss. Good. You're better. Better. Or broken. Internship debates. Water cooler whispers. Harlan case poetic. Colleague. Kid should have sued. Not vanished. Vanished.
Humor mill grinds.
Personal panel. Mirror monologues. Justice or jealousy? Jealousy. Of their freedom?
No.
Grandpa's ghost. Vengeance mine.
Mine.
Usurped. Twist drop. Package at dorm. Belize postmark. Raoul scrawl. Inside. Mom's locket. Engraved forever CNM. Cheryl and Mike. Note. She left this. Said sorry for the boy. Rough waters here. Cops sniffing wires. Wires. My hacks traced? Heart stutter. Debate reignited. Alive?
Escapade postpour.
Flip to fugitives? Call Vic. Belize angle? His dig. Flights out same week. Fake IDs? My contact says.
Fake.
Their flip ultimate. Death faked. Concrete caper cover. Rage reboot. They played me. Poured fake please? Debate devolved. Hunt or heal? Sarah sensed. What's wrong?
Wrong.
Old ghosts.
Ghosts.
Flesh now. Decision Belize bound. Summer ticket one way. Firm excuse. Family research. Research. Revenge round 2. Airport limbo. Security pat down. Irony's grope. Plane hum. Echoes of screams. Now laughs. Landed. Humidity hug. Raoul's shack stinking fish. Confront. Him shirtless. Smirking. Harlan? Mommy's mess. Mess. His tail. Post-confront. They fought free. Dad overpowering bonds. Mom dialing ally Ray. Fled mixer night. Staging disappearance. Trust remnants funded bolt. My wire's too late. Where? Demand. His shrug. Cayman Banks? Then, who knows? Said, tell the kid we're sorry, but survival first. Survival. They're flipped to victims.
Débat dissolve, no pour.
No justice. Chase shadows. Return. Sarah waiting. Truth. Truth. Spill all. Basement to bluff. Her recoil. Monster. Monster. Or man. She stayed. Debated with me. Forgive yourself. Self. The real jury. Graduation dawned crisp. Gowns azure against McCormick's arches. Pomp and circumstance, marching us to uncertain futures. Diploma in hand, BA in Justice Studies. Summa. I scanned the crowd. Sarah cheering. Nate whooping. Aunt Linda tearful.
No parents.
Ghosts or gone. The debate lingered. A scar itch. Post-ceremony brunch. The Drake. Mimosas fizzing. Linda pulled me aside. Found them.
Found.
Heart seas. Caymans.
Alive.
Extradition pending. Fraud charges.
Pending.
My tips bore fruit. Feds flipping Ray's testimony. No murder rap. Bodies absent. My secret sealed. Twists teeth. Mom's letter.
Smuggled via Linda.
Ethan, we ran scared. Your age. Mirrored his. But we stole more than money, your faith. Forgive or forget?
Love.
Always. Always. Lies echo. Dad's addendum. Scrawled. Proud.
Son.
Fucked up. But fought for family. Yours now. Yours. Flip final, villain to victim. Or vice versa. Sarah's hand in mine. What now?
Now.
Bar exam looming. Firm offer solid. But justice? Cayman call. Ethan Harlan? Your testimony key. Testimony.
Pour the truth?
Debates denouement. Court in Miami. Humid as hell. Them shackled. Faces gaunt. Dad's hair gray. Mom's Botox botched. My stand. They stole everything.
But I.
Escalated. Escalated. Basement confessed. Gasps rippling gallery. Judge's gavel. Self-defense angle. Jury decides. Trial circus. Prosecution paints them monsters. Defense me vigilante.
Witnesses flib, big testifias ax.
Nurse the shove. Raoul via video. They fled fear.
Fear. Of me.
Jury deliberates days. Polarized press. Son's revenge. Hero or horror? Sometimes front page. My face blurred. Verdict. Them guilty fraud. Embezzlement. Assault cover-up. 10 years. No parole soon.
Me?
Charges dropped. Duress. Youth. Happy? Tragic?
Epilogue, wedding bells.
Sarah's veil. Lake Michigan backdrop. Vows. Through fractures. Forever. Forever. Echoes quiet. Grandpa's grave. Trowel playstone restored. Restored. Twist. In the end, revenge rebuilt. Debated but done. America, where comebacks are currency, and closure's the cruelest con. But late nights, concrete dreams, did I bury beasts, or birth one? You decide, hero's halo, or villain's veil.